Hey, hello there. It's Monday Meetup with Araya. My name is Araya Anra, if you haven't met me before. And I'm a psychic medium, an energy healer, and a coach. And I essentially help people with what they're stuck in. Where are you not moving forward in your life? Where are you frustrated with the same patterns repeating themselves? And for some people right now, going through, I know in the winter, there's a lot of internal focus, and we get really good after the new year on getting on our meditation routine, on our yoga routine, and really seeking our spiritual path, which is a beautiful thing. But just like anything else, if we overdo it, we overstretch those muscles, we might start getting what I call like spiritual soreness or burnout, where I was getting up every day and meditating for an hour or two, and I'm over that. I just want to sleep in today. It's cold and snowy, right? Or I just don't want to go to yoga today. I'm sore and I'm tired and it hurts and it's not helping me get anywhere. There's all symptoms of pushing too hard too fast, and that happens a lot after New Year's resolutions. So by beginning of March, especially into the spring, when the weather starts getting beautiful and we start to get distracted with outdoor fun or things that need to be done with spring clean-outs or yard work, it all starts to happen and takes us away from some of the internal work we've been so focused on, and it's easy to dive into those distractions when we're already hitting burnout with them. So the hard part is to not want to turn and just let go of them all completely, and to maybe tone down the routine to something that is manageable, that's something that's still inspiring. And I know for me, learning to live with the mantra progress, not perfection, over the last year has been huge. I've been letting go of control and perfectionist tendencies for a lot of years now as I got on my spiritual journey. But last year it really honed in because I started my own business, and I could see the list of to-dos and the overwhelm, and oh my God, I am a type that I want to have it all done. I want it done now, and I want it to a certain quality. I want it exactly how I want it. So the perfectionist comes out of me, and if it's not getting there, then I spend hours and hours and hours, and then I get burnt out. And so really starting to learn to recognize that progress is progress. If it's one small, tiny step, it's still a step forward. And yes, sometimes to go forward, we need to take a couple steps back as we circle around in this little spiral, sort of like a train in motion where the wheels of the train are turning and moving forward. Hello, I can't see who's there. I'd love a comment so I can see who that is, or the name might pop up here in a minute. Hi Inger, thanks for tuning in. Just talking about progress, not perfection, and spiritual burnout, and moving out of it as we move into spring and maybe have overworked any of our bodies, but especially our spiritual body in our desire to really get into our New Year's resolutions or dreams or visions or goals for this year. And so for me, progress, not perfection, meant learning how to block my time, and when that time was done for that, shutting it down. That, you know what, I can finish this tomorrow. Not moving into procrastination or putting off or things that I'm resistant to and avoiding, but really seeing how if I can block my time and use it wisely, then I can let go or say, yep, I want to have it done by 4 o'clock. And then I don't have to go into the threads of perfection that I'm realizing I'm the only one maybe seeing, that nobody else is going to have the vision of what I wanted it to look like. And so it might be just perfect or exactly what it needs to be for what they're seeing and what they're wanting to get out of it. And so where is that hitting you in your journey? Are the things that you're pushing yourself so hard to do in a perfect way? Maybe it's your meditation, maybe it's chanting, maybe it's your yoga practice, maybe it's something with your own work. It doesn't have to be spiritual burnout that you reach, but that's one that I want to deal with and share and talk about, because it's a big one that can turn you off your spiritual path when all of your other pieces of your life have to keep moving forward because they're putting food on the table, they're putting money in the bank, they're making it possible for you to have clothes and shelter and a car and gas and all those things that we need. And so the first thing to get ditched are our hobbies and interests, and especially when that interest is our spiritual path. And so when we dive in too deep and we get too hard and too fast, and then we get really tired of it and just want to push it away, try to block it. Try to set out a schedule that's going to be inspiring to you and not be overloading. You know what? 10 minutes of meditation a day is better than no minutes of meditation a day. And maybe in your yoga practice, maybe you find that 10 minutes by being there 5 minutes early, and instead of sitting and stretching so deeply, just sit and go internal. Everybody in the yoga room is going to totally get what that is, and you might start a trend. Or at the end of your practice, maybe you find a quiet bench to sit on for 5 minutes, knowing that the rest of your day is going to be really busy. And blocking it. You know, can you set aside those 5 or 10 minutes 3 times a week instead of trying to push yourself to meditate every day, where you get frustrated and, you know, just let go, or as soon as you let something override it once, then it becomes easy to override it again. And that can be with anything. I know for me, in my work schedule I was just mentioning, blocking my time where I have certain blocks that I'm going to work on this project that needs to get done, or maybe I need a new ad on my website, or I need a new banner ad on my Facebook campaign, or I need to have some posts in place that I want to be able to use this week. So if I chunk my time and say, this is where I'm going to focus this, and I actually put it in my calendar in big blocks, it's helped me become a better mom, in the sense of an entrepreneurial home business mom tends to overlap, and maybe you guys can relate to this, overlapping work and business and family. When your home computer is your business computer as well, it's really easy to just hop on there and check emails again, or check those posts again, and do they need to be responded to, instead of focusing on family time. So really setting that, you know what, whether you're in an office or your office is at home, do you have a firm 5 o'clock barrier, or do you have a firm 4 o'clock barrier? What is your quitting time, so that the rest of the evening is devoted to your family, and or your friends, or your social life, or your personal hobby that's going to give you joy and passion and excitement. Hopefully that is your business and you're enjoying it all day long. But I have found that blocking my time super helps not only my kids accept my business at home, but me to make sure that I'm giving them the time and energy they deserve as much as my business. Because every time I don't, I send them this little message that my business is more important to me than them, even though my heart doesn't feel that. When my actions are speaking louder than my words, every single time that I go and I'm checking posts or emails, or responding to them, or going back and looking at something and finishing up something I really want to have done tonight, I have to tune in with spirit and say, you know, I really need this to be another day. I need to put this off, because my family needs to know that they're the most important thing to me. And, you know, maybe you're dealing with that too. And if there's anything you're dealing with that you need help to find those chunks of time, or need help to rearrange and organize and see why it's not flowing easily, that's part of what I do in session with people. I do one-on-one private sessions for 75 minutes where we use that mediumship, my psychic gifts, to go in and get clarity. Let's hone in and see where the emotional thread is that's maybe keeping you from being able to block that time. Maybe it's a false belief or an emotional pattern that was set in place in childhood that makes it so you don't know how. Maybe it's a perfectionist tendency that got in place because you needed to please your parents in a certain way that needs to be looked at and unwound energetically. And that's one of the pieces I do with energy work, to go in and bring it up and out so that you can actually shift that pattern. Because if you've had a pattern in place for, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, for me 50 years, then it's pretty hard to unwind it, especially without some external clarity of what it is. You might have a pattern of perfection that you didn't even realize why it's there. And we can go back and see a memory when you were 3 years old of the first time that your mom or dad asked you to help them maybe deadheading flowers in the garden. Pretty mundane activity, pretty simple. But if they got on you about not doing it right and made you do it over, and you're 3 years old and they just weren't really understanding about what a 3-year-old perceives in the garden as what's fun and clipping flowers off, and you cut all the live ones off and they got really angry, then that would set in motion a perfectionist tendency within you to know that you have to do it a certain way to receive their love, right? Those are the kind of things that we look at. That's just one example that's popping in. But yeah, just going back and allowing yourself to soften into and surrender to a pattern in your life that will not lead to burnout, and recognizing the burnout and going, this is what it is. It's not that I don't love my meditation, or my desire isn't there to really hone my skills at it, or that I don't want to take time to read spiritual texts or more information, metaphysical books. There's some great books out there that started my journey when I used to have time to read. And if I really had a passion and desire for that part of my journey to be in place again, I would need to block out time for me to actually read a book and not veg out on the TV when I have a downtime hour, or, set something else, doing laundry and all the house cleaning that needs to be done. Can I make even a 45-minute chunk for me to actually read a book that I really enjoy, if that's important to me? And it's just reminding me on my journey how important different books were, that made me realize I wasn't alone in all the thoughts and beliefs that I had coming or knew inherently when I started my spiritual awakening. Books like Bringers of the Dawn, Barbara Marciniak, and I know she has some others out there, Starseed something, the Dawn Bird Tribes, Return of the Bird Tribes was one of the first ones I read, and Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters. Yeah, now is another one out, One Soul, Many Bodies. Incredible texts that if you get drawn synchronistically to something coming across your path, your guides are just trying to lead you down the merry primrose path of awakening, because that's what they're there to help you do. And that's what I'm here to help you do. I get inspired with my topics every week based on what my guides put in my heart to talk about, because whoever tunes in right now, Inger, I hope this is hitting home for you, live or on the replay, that there's a tidbit in here for you. Even if it's one little phrase in the whole 10 minutes of video, that there's some golden nugget for you to take away that's going to maybe change the vector path of your journey from here on out, and lead you to paying attention to a book falling in your lap that you read and go, oh, that looks sort of interesting. Take the time to read it. Do you know that I actually got more out of a book one time? I can't remember what book it was, but there were like 15 blank pages at the end of the book. And I was like, what a printer mistake. Like, who's the publisher? What did they do? This is so stupid. Why, they waste all this paper and make it like appear thicker, or what was their reasoning? And for some reason, when I got to the end of reading that book, my guidance, my inner guidance said, put your hand on the blank pages. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? What's that going to do? So I did, and I actually could feel an energetic download happening page after page in the blank pages. And I got as much, if not more, out of what I got energetically at the end of the book. It's been an issue to balance it, as when I feel the energy and it doesn't stop. It's like I don't know how to stop. So I can't read the whole comment right now, Inger. What are you talking? I'd love to know so I can address it, an issue to balance it. Are you talking about burnout, or are you talking about perfection? So make a little bit shorter comments before you send it off so that I can see the whole thing, because they cut it off here where I get 3 lines of text and then I can't see, so I can't see the rest of it. Anyway, with this book, it was one of these amazing things. I actually got more energetic download and realizations come in from the blank pages in the back of this book. It was really incredible. So that to say, find time for you. Find time for things that are going to re-aliven you, redirect you into just some relaxation, some enjoyment, something that you're excited about. And rather than going full aboard and saying, I have to have 45 minutes a day to read, and this, gentle with the schedule. It's about progress, not perfection, and not having it all right now. Because I know when I started my spiritual awakening, I wanted it all right now. I wanted all the answers now. I want my psychic gifts open. I want to be on my path. I want to know my direction. I want to quit my job. You want to jump off the cliff. And so I've jumped off the cliff. I can work on going as long as the energy is flowing. So I have had an issue to balance when to stop. Oh, so yes. I think I'm hearing you now, Inger, where when the energy is flowing and you're in that, especially like a creative mode, or you have a project that you want to finish and you're inspired and it's, midnight and you've forgotten to eat and you've forgotten to like go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, my eyes are tired and I'm getting a headache, and you're so excited. I get that. And that happens for me a lot in the middle of the night, actually. My guides wake me up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, almost always up by 4 to like come and sit with them and meditate. And what I've found is there are times when I'm on target, when that's my quiet time and I'm not taking time away from my family and I'm really inspired. There is an amount of flow that needs to happen, but you have to recognize where you're pushing beyond that. And where, I know it happened recently where I stayed up from 1 o'clock in the morning until 6:30 in the morning because I got into this project that I was excited about. I felt really great about it the next day, even when I was a little bit tired. I was like, no, but it felt really good to get that done because the energy, the inspiration was there and it was flowing. But I ended up doing damage to myself and ended up very sick 2 or 3 days later because my body wasn't able to handle that. And I wasn't honoring myself and saying, okay, take a bunch of notes about the inspiration, write down my ideas and thoughts, and then just allow me to enter that field again. And sometimes what I do now is, or I have done in the past too, is to close and seal off that energy sphere that you're sitting in where you can feel the flow, and just ask your guides to hold that energy in that sphere as if you can see a crystal ball, and set it on your desk or where your workspace is, that whatever kind of work you're doing, you might be a painter or whatever, and ask them to activate it again for you when you can come back to it actively, so that you can say, you know what, I'm feeling this thread of inspiration. My guides and guardians, I know you're with me. I know you're helping me bring this in, but I'm the one in human body. I'm the one in human form doing the actual work, and my physical body needs rest, food, water, bathroom, shower, whatever kind of break you need. And then say, you know, can you please hold the energy in this sphere and activate it for me when I come back to it, so that I can be back in that flow and accomplish what I want to accomplish, but also honor and take care of my body. So that would be definitely a way, Inger, that you might try and see what happens. Or if you know that you can or need to stay up for a 10 or 12 hour space, to look ahead on your calendar and say, okay, I've honored this. Now I'm going to block out the next day for me to rest, play, be totally with my family, whatever it is, that you balance it. So absolutely, Inger, I'm so glad you asked, because that's a great one. I've done that in the past. I know friends who stay up all night, and they're really good at it. Their body can take staying up all night. Mine can't. I'm a 9 o'clock at night girl. Have to usually go to bed at the same time my kids do, which is also partly because I know my guides get me up in the middle of the night when I can have that time without feeling like I'm taking it away from my kids, to just go in and have that clear connection time to get the guidance and the visions of the next things I'm to create. Sort of like how the whole DragonHeart program has come in. The Way of the DragonHeart is my next group program that's kicking off March 21st. It's a 9-month journey, deep dive for 9 people who want to walk their DragonHeart path. And if you're not familiar with dragons or dragon energy, check out For the Love of Dragons, my group on Facebook. We've got over 400 people, close to it anyway, right now, just starting to come together. I started it the weekend before Thanksgiving on one of these meditations, like I was shown. Start this, start building the family, because I've had a book out for 10 years called The Dragon Within on working with dragon energies, and it's finally time to take it to the next level. So they've brought me into creating this 9-month program for 9 individuals who are ready to dive in to bring a level of work and activation in their own soul, but also to help collectively, where they can walk away 9 months later and be able to do work similar to what I'm doing, where they can do dragon readings or activations around the planet, or really start living their dragon heart. Might not apply to you or those that are listening, but somebody's going to hear that because I was guided to say it. So somebody that watches this replay is going to be triggered by dragon energy, and how do you work with it? And that's one of my other nicknames, is the Dragon Lady. And I had that actually, unbeknownst to me that I was so connected to the dragons, I had a nickname in college of the Dragon Lady for a whole nother reason, different story. But it's coming back in again, full circle, full swing. And so there's a lot of things being created with dragons. Like we have a book club right now with The Dragon Within that's been super powerful, and we've got 2 more weeks left of that. So I'm waiting to look and see when I'm going to calendar the next one of those, because it is super fun, amazing group of people. We've got 11 souls besides myself in that one, between Spain and the United States, Western borders, and Canada included, and it's been really, really cool. So hopefully this message touched you, helped in some way. Inger, thanks so much for tuning in. And I know there's somebody else there. I'd love for you to type a hello so I know who you are, because I can't see the actual list of names right here. See if I can see it over here. No, it's not showing me everybody. So if you are catching the replay, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I will respond to them. And if anybody wants a dragon reading or wants to connect on a 20-minute discovery call to see what we could do together as far as work, if you know there's some challenges hitting your life right now and you want to know what kind of thing, what programs or sessions I have that would help you move through that, please message me or email me at araya@invokehealing.com. Otherwise, I'm here every Monday. The time might be adjusted based on the international group that comes together for the Way of the DragonHeart program. I might have to move my Facebook around to a different day just to accommodate all the individual sessions that will be part of that. But I'll always post it. And so if you follow and you set your notifications to find out when I'm live, we'll catch each other. So I look forward to the next one. Have a fabulous day. And thanks so much for being here. It means the world to me when you guys connect in and I can share and interact like this. I loved being able to share that part of me with you, Inger, specifically about that flow of energy that happens when you get in it, and it's very hard to quit. And so some tools to maybe do that. We'll see you next time. Bye.